Good evening and welcome to the first election special of News 99. With this unprecedented election, we hope to deliver the most accurate information as it updates.
Due to the unorthodox nature of this election cycle, there is a chance that we may have multiple election-themed episodes. During the taping of this program, if anything major breaks, we will throw it over to our political correspondent, Michael McDonald.
And with that, we bring you to the latest in election, local, and national headlines, as well as our Storm Team weather forecast. Get ready because News 99 presidential election starts right now. Welcome to the program. I'm Rebecca Patches.
And I'm Sarah Burns. Due to COVID-19, a record number of mail-in ballots have been processed in this election cycle. As a result, we are still unsure of the winner of the election and may remain unsure of the result for weeks. For more, we turn to Michael McDonald.
As of now, on November 4th, 2020, we still do not have a decisive winner in the 2020 presidential election. The numbers as of now show that former Vice President Joe Biden is in the lead with 264 electoral votes, while the incumbent president, Donald Trump, is close behind with 214 votes. Again, to win the presidency, a candidate must receive at least 270 electoral votes to be deemed the victor. Looking at state victories, Joe Biden has won 22 states, while Donald Trump has won a total of 23 states. Still tonight, millions of votes are coming in from Alaska, Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. These states have had massive surges in early and mail-in voting, which will delay their final results. Within those 6 states, a majority of them are battleground states. I really want to take a moment and look at what we are calling the blue wall states in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. In 2016, Donald Trump won all 3 of these important states. But looking at the numbers now, it is very close in Wisconsin. Very close. In Wisconsin, the numbers are basically final, with Biden winning 49% of the vote, with Donald Trump winning 48%. In Michigan, it just came in that Biden won by a hair, with him getting 49.9% of the vote to Trump's 48.6%. Coming to the probably the most important state in the election, Pennsylvania, it is now still for Trump with 53% of the vote and Biden with 46%. Before we call Trump the winner here, only 84% of the vote has been counted. This is in part to a law passed by the PA Supreme Court that allows the state to count ballots 3 days after November 3rd. It is most likely we will not know who won in this state till Friday. Moving on over to the Sun Belt, Arizona and Nevada are neck and neck with Biden in the lead by a hair in both states. With all these numbers being so close, President Trump is already calling fraud while votes are still being counted. Both sides of the aisle have made remarks that President Trump's statement is factually incorrect. Moving to Capitol Hill, things are more clear-cut than the presidential election. Numbers as of now in both the House and Senate show House Leader Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats will remain in control with 204 seats to the Republicans' 191 seats. Over in the Senate, there is no clear victor, but it is looking like Mitch McConnell and the Republicans will hold their control with 48 seats to the Democrats' 46 seats. Remember, to gain control in the House, you need 218 votes, while in the Senate, you need 51 votes. This election is very close, with numbers changing by the hour. It is a tug-of-war between these 2 candidates and their parties. So before we send it back to the desk, we will be keeping you updated if any new information comes during the program. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Once again, if anything major breaks, we will have more updates later in the program. Let's take a look at what's happening on the Millersville campus. Millersville University has once again been recognized in the Princeton Review Guide to Green Colleagues for its sustainability efforts. This is the 6th year Millersville has been recognized as one of the most environmentally responsible colleges. The schools are chosen by the Princeton Review based on a survey of administrators at 695 colleges for their institution's commitment to the environment and sustainability. 25 survey data points were analyzed in the process of choosing schools. Millersville's ranking comes from an array of efforts, including the Lombardo Welcome Center's Zero Energy certification, the reduction of office supply use, and the implementation of a climate action plan. Millersville University has also implemented measures meant to reduce its carbon footprint and provide climate change support to Pennsylvania municipalities. According to the university's sustainability coordinator, Stephen Knepp, it is great that Millersville University is once again recognized for its sustainability efforts and work to make the community a better place to live and thrive. It is truly an institutional effort, and being recognized nationally is always special.
All eastbound lanes of I-75 have reopened after a correction bus accident on mile marker 258. The bus was traveling in the left lane when the left tire deflated, making the driver lose control and sent the vehicle crashing into the center concrete barrier. 9 ambulances were sent to the scene, which then grew to 40. The PA Turnpike Commission has confirmed that the accident only involved the corrections bus, and the Pennsylvania State Police is currently investigating the cause of the crash. The bus was carrying 38 inmates and staff, and all inmates were accounted for after the crash and sent to the Penn State Hershey Medical Center to be treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
East Lampeter Township Police has responded to a stabbing at an Advanced Auto Parts store on Lincoln Highway. The man was stabbed in the thigh after intervening with a domestic dispute between a man and woman. The woman was previously seen entering the store displaying a photo license to use a diagnostic tool on either a black or dark-colored Toyota sedan. The car had minor damages on the rear bumper and was seen to have more than a normal amount of smoke coming from the exhaust pipe. The male suspect is white and in his 30s, between the height of 5'7" and 5'8", wearing a green sweatshirt and denim jeans. The woman was white, also in her 30s, with brown hair dyed blue, wearing a gray sweatshirt, red pants, and brown Ugg boots. East Lampeter Township Police are searching for any information related to the case.
Both Warwick and Conestoga Valley High School will close to students for the remainder of the week due to a sudden surge in COVID-19 cases. Warwick has reported a total of 8 cases among students and staff this fall, with Conestoga Valley School District reporting 7 cases in just over a week. According to a letter sent by Warwick, based on positive cases and additional probable cases of COVID-19, it appears as though individuals from our Warwick High School family who may have been together both on and off campus may be spreading the virus. These days are needed to separate our school population to slow and stop the spread. Students at the high schools will shift to online learning through Friday, with in-person instruction expected to resume Monday.
2 Lebanon residents are dead following an apparent murder-suicide over the Halloween weekend. Police were dispatched to the 100 block of Mifflin Street for a well-being check around 8:30 p.m. Once there, they discovered 35-year-old Milton Martinez Rivera injured and 30-year-old Elena Mercado dead of a gunshot wound. Martine Rivera was taken to the hospital but later died of her wounds. Evidence found that the scene indicated that the pair were in a relationship and were arguing before he shot her and then himself. A third party who lived at the home made the 911 call. Police stated that a handgun was recovered from the home, and the Lebanon County coroner will perform an autopsy on Mercado.
The Department of Health reported Tuesday that both Pennsylvania and Lancaster County set new one-day records for the number of new coronavirus cases. Over 2,800 new cases were reported, with Lancaster County logging 131 cases. They reported an additional 32 COVID-19 deaths, along with an increase in hospitalization. On Tuesday, over 1,300 patients were hospitalized with COVID-19, up from the original 1,200 from a day earlier. This recent surge in cases are well above spring peaks when the virus was more deadly. And that's all the time we have for now. When we return, it's your 3-day weather forecast, national headlines, and any breaking election news. Stay tuned.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in high school, I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home, and that's hard when you feel like you're doing it alone. That's when I met Narnese, my mom, as I'll call her. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but your future is more important. She's my strength. Just being that support for those hard days and those hard nights, not giving up on me. Thank you to my mama. I wouldn't have did this if it wasn't for her. Today is for my mama and everybody who had my back. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. Some people think, well, maybe it's really not that big of a deal, but it really is. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You can't sit here.
Don't add her to the chain.
It was just a joke.
Why are you talking to me?
Lame. Loser.
Weirdo. I've said and done things before that I'm not proud of.
Just as I've been hurt by others.
The thing is, this is not who I am, and it's definitely not who I want to be.
I don't want to be cruel.
I don't want to spread gossip.
I don't want to be a body shamer.
We have the power to be more.
We can create a kinder world.
It's not that hard.
We just need to stop.
Take a moment.
And consider others.
Before we speak.
And before we act.
Be more. Be more.
Be more.
With the election maybe heating up right now in our area, it's been rather cool right now in Pennsylvania. And so far it's been clear skies from as much as we have seen. And as we move on through our weather forecast, as you can see right now, it is completely clear throughout all of Pennsylvania right now, as it's heading into nighttime currently. And there is no precipitation in the air either. And as you see with our single day weather report, we have is a high of 64 degrees Fahrenheit. It is somewhat cool with a low of 45 degrees Fahrenheit. No rain at all with a gust of 10 miles per hour from the south. No wind chill and a humidity of 38%. And as we see moving on to Thursday, we have a high of 68 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 45, still cool. And Friday it actually gets warmer as it is a high of 71 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 45 degrees Fahrenheit with a slight, with it being partially cloudy. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Sean. We'll have your 7-day forecast later in the program, but for now, here is your national headlines. The state of Oregon has overwhelmingly voted to decriminalize the use of recreational drugs such as cocaine and heroin. The result was one of many noteworthy wins for advocates seeking to change drug laws. Oregon also legalized psychedelic mushrooms, which were decriminalized in the District of Columbia as well. New Jersey, Arizona, Montana, and South Dakota each voted to legalize recreational marijuana, joining 11 other states, plus DC, which have already done so, and Mississippi legalized it for medical use. Marijuana has been legal in Oregon since 2015. Now, thanks to Measure 110, millions of dollars in tax revenues will go toward addiction treatment facilities and state-supervised fund that will pay for drug programs, treatment, and housing.
The United States will formally leave the Paris Agreement on Wednesday, no matter who wins the election. Of the nearly 200 nations that signed the agreement, the U.S. is the only one to walk away from its promises to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. President Trump originally announced his intention to withdraw from the landmark agreement in 2017 and formally notified the United Nations last year. A mandatory year-long waiting period ends on Wednesday, a coincidence that nonetheless highlights the Trump administration's commitment to derailing efforts that address climate change. The U.S. has emitted more cumulative carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than any other country since the industrial era began in the mid-1800s. Current U.S. emissions are falling, but far too slowly to avoid catastrophic warming. That's in part because the Trump administration rolled back the carbon pollution limits from power plants, cars, trucks, and fossil fuel operations. American emissions rose slightly in the first 2 years of his administration. In 2020, the pandemic throttled the economy and led to a short-term dip.
In an important moment for LGBTQ history, Sarah McBride from Delaware has become the nation's first transgender senator in the United States and the country's highest-ranking transgender official. I hope tonight shows an LGBTQ kid that our democracy is big enough for them too. McBride, 30, tweeted Tuesday night after the election was called. As Delaware continues to face the COVID crisis, it's time to get to work to invest the policies that will make a difference for working families. She easily defeated Republican Steve Washington to represent Delaware's 1st Senate District incumbent Democrat Harris McDowell, who did not seek re-election after 44 years, had endorsed McBride. McBride, a former spokesperson for the LGBTQ advocacy group Human Rights Campaign, made national headlines in 2012 when she stepped down as American University student body president and came out as trans in the school's student newspaper. While still in college, she interned with the Obama administration, becoming the first out transgender woman to work in the White House, according to her campaign announcement.
A study of the lungs of people who have died from COVID-19 has found persistent and extensive lung damage in most cases and may help doctors understand what is behind a syndrome known as long COVID, in which patients suffer ongoing symptoms for months. The study was headed by King's College London. Growing evidence from around the world suggests that a small proportion of people who have had COVID-19 and recovered from their initial infection can experience a range of ongoing symptoms, including fatigue, brain fog, and shortness of breath. The condition is often called long COVID. 90% of patients studied were found to have unique symptoms in one's body compared to other forms of pneumonia, such as extensive blood clots, as well as abnormally large lung cells. The presence of these cells could potentially cause complications for months.
The death toll in last week's Aegean Sea earthquake rose to 116 on Wednesday as rescuers in the Turkish city of Izmir finished searching buildings that collapsed in the quake. But all 2 of the victims were killed in Izmir, Turkey's 3rd largest city. 2 teenagers died on the Greek island of Samos, which lies south of the epicenter of Friday's earthquake. The U.S. Geological Survey registered the quake's magnitude at 7.0, although other agencies recorded it as less severe. If the 1,035 people injured in the quake, 137 remained hospitalized on Wednesday. The tremors were felt across western Turkey, including in Istanbul, as well as in the Greek capital of Athens. Some 1,700 aftershocks followed, 45 of which were greater than 4.0 magnitude. In Izmir, the quake reduced buildings to rumble or saw floors pancake in on themselves. Authorities have detained 9 people, including contractors, for questioning over the collapse of 6 of the buildings. The country sits on top of 2 major fault lines, and earthquakes are frequent. And that's all the time we have for now, but when we return, it's your 7-day forecast as well as any breaking election news. Stay tuned.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in high school, I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home, and that's hard when you feel like you're doing it alone. That's when I met Narnese, my mom, as I'll call her. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but your future is more important. She's my strength. Just being that support for those hard days and those hard nights, it's not giving up on me.
Thank you.
to my mama. I wouldn't have did this if it wasn't for her. Today is for my mama and everybody who had my back. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. Some people think, well, maybe it's really not that big of a deal, but it really is. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You can't sit here.
Don't add her to the chain.
It was just a joke.
Why are you talking to me?
Lame.
Loser.
Weirdo.
I've said and done things before that I'm not proud of.
Just as I've been hurt by others.
The thing is, this is not who I am. And we have the power to be more.
We can create a kinder world.
It's not that hard.
We just need to stop.
Take a moment.
And consider others.
Before we speak,
And before we act.
Be more.
be more.
Be more.
Welcome back to News 99, and this past weekend we saw freezing temperatures, and we see here right now it is clear, no clouds in the sky, and no precipitation in the sky either. And we have our single day weather forecast. We have a 64 degrees Fahrenheit right now, with a low of 45 degrees Fahrenheit, with no rain, a gust of 10 miles per hour from the south, and with a humidity of 38 degrees Fahrenheit. You see Thursday, it's going to be a high of 68 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 45. And Friday, a high of 71 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And we see with our 7-day weather forecast, we have tomorrow, that we have right now is cool and sunny on Wednesday. Thursday, we see it's going to be sunny and warmer with 68 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 46. Friday, it's going to be partially cloudy, even warmer now with a 71 degree Fahrenheit high with a low of 43 degrees Fahrenheit. On Saturday, it's going to be partially cloudy with as high as 70 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Then Sunday, it will be cooling down a little bit with a 68 degrees Fahrenheit high with a low of 52 degrees Fahrenheit. On Monday, it's going to be 69 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 71 degrees Fahrenheit, and on Tuesday of next week will be even nicer with a 71 degree Fahrenheit high and a low of 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Back to you guys at the desk.
And that's all we have for this episode. I'm Rebecca Patches.
And I'm Sarah Burns. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for our second election episode.